Welcome back. We're going over Chord Scan and Smart Scan. Let me start off by talking about how Chord Scan works by default. So when you play notes inside of your zone, Karma can analyze those notes and then decide which chord you're playing based off of them. And then also, the notes inside your zone usually trigger your sequence via note trigger. Now, some parameters in Karma function off of chord scan, depending. The example that I'm going to use is note type. If note type is on regular, it actually does not use chord scan. It just develops the note series based on whatever notes you play. So if I play the C3, we just get C in octaves. But if my scale type is on scalic, then Karma will use the note that I played, decide on a chord, and then develop the note series based on that chord. So in this case, I'm playing a C pentatonic. Now, instead of using our inside zone for a chord scan, we could actually override this and use dynamic MIDI for a chord scan. And then our notes that are played inside the zone will only trigger the sequence. So in this case, I'll just use note outside zone to facilitate what chord Karma decides that I'm playing. Now, if I play some notes outside of the zone, you can see that I have the zone set to C3 and above. These first two chords are only playing below C3. So if I go ahead and hit a chord, in this case, I already was on C major. And then in this case, it scans that chord and then develops the note series. Now anything that I play inside the zone will actually just trigger that note series. Now you see that it is still shifting. If I were to, go up a note, go up 2 notes, go up 3 notes. There we go. So it'll only play notes that are inside of the scale, or I guess I should say start on notes and play notes that are inside of the scale that was decided with the notes that were played outside of the zone. I can actually just put this on latch if I wanted to. Play this. Then switch between an E minor and C major while it's running. These notes outside of the zone are not triggering the sequence. These are just deciding what is being generated in the note series. But a bunch of other parameters are also affected by whatever chord Karma has scanned. For instance, repeat. That could have a chord shift programmed to scalic. So the repeated notes would be based on chord scan. I'm not going to go into every single function, but you could just look in the manual. And actually, let me just find the section. Yeah, here's actually all of the functions that are affected by chord scan. So that's it for chord scan. Let's move on to smart scan. I changed some things around. I'm now patched into smart scan, and instead of using notes outside zone, I have it on full range, and then the zone itself is full range. I also changed the MIDI a little bit. I have notes coming from the Kronos keyboard via the global channel, and then of course each module is sending out to different timbres. We'll just focus on module 1 and 2. So module 1 is set up to play timbre 6. Module 2 is set up to play timbre 7. Of course, I have those timbres on MIDI channels 6 and 7. And I have the smart scan affecting module 1. So something that the manual, I didn't see it say anything about how smart scan not only kind of replaces chord scan, but it also replaces the ability for Karma to trigger if there's not 3 or more notes. So smart scan makes it so you have to play 3 or more notes to do a chord scan analysis, and then also to trigger the module. So I was trying to think of some kind of practical purpose for this. And I made like a really simple patch. If I send module 2 to timbre 7 and I put it on through while Karma is on, I can then play timbre 7 just with regular notes. See, I'm not actually running module 2. It's just going through while Karma is on. And because of Smart Scan, I have to hit 3 notes in order to trigger anything that module 1 is patched into. And so I'm basically only using Smart Scan for a trigger, but I'm not actually making my note series based off of that chord that it analyzes. But nonetheless, I can still create kind of a cool effect. So in the Control tab, I have Clock Advance for module 1 set to dynamic MIDI. And then I have the chord trigger mode on continuous, so it actually plays 3 notes once it's triggered, or whatever notes that I'm holding as a chord. But the point is that it won't get triggered unless I'm holding 3 notes because of Smart Scan. So let me actually take off through, and then let me show you what happens if I hit a triad. We hear a little piano. And that's because of Smart Scan. But if I were to play one note at a time, you can actually see the MIDI here, up here at C5. One note at a time does not trigger anything, but 3 notes, we do. And so if I put this on through, then we can get one timbre, you know, and then and it's not until we hit 3 notes that we get that little chime in there. So there's a lot of different things you can do with Chord Scan. That was just something I thought of off the top of my head to illustrate what it does. So yeah, that's it for this, and I'll see you whenever.